This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Hello.
Hola!
Bonjour!
Konnichiwa!
Ni hao!
Ciao!
Annyeonghaseyo.
Mabuhay!
Welcome to Washington State.
Explore the sights.
Discover new things.
Appreciate the arts, music, and food.
Travel to new places.
Meet the people.
Make new friends.
In other words, come home with us.
Come home with us.
This is INC Radio Seattle, Washington.
Good afternoon and good evening to everyone tuning in. My name is Sister Marie and you are watching INC Radio Seattle. We are so excited for today's show. We have a very jam-packed weekend here in Washington and we're so excited to share it all with you today. Before we get started, I also wanted to share that you can participate in our hashtag challenge. So how you participate is one, leave your local congregation's corresponding hashtag. So for example, I'm from the local congregation of Seattle, so I would leave hashtag Seattle below. Last week, we had some of our winners, including the top three were in third place, drum roll, the local congregation of Burien. In second place, we had the local congregation of Everett. And in first place, we had the local congregation of Marysville. So thank you for all those congregations for tuning in. We also have our top three brethren or listeners that were tuning in and are leaving comments below. So you could also do that as well. Participate in today's show, answer any of our questions, ask us some questions if you'd really like, and that'll also count to your total. So in third place, we have Ruben G. Villanueva from the local congregation of Shoreline. Congrats, Paul. In second place, we have Marinella Lixai from the local congregation of Seattle. And in first place, we have Casimple de Jesus from the local congregation of Marysville. So thank you so much, Paul, for always tuning in and participating in our discussions. We also have a greeting from Brother Relly Rivera. It says, happy Saturday and happy viewing to all the brethren around the world. Greetings from Washington State. So yes, hello, Paul. Thank you for tuning in and thank you to everyone watching as well. And hello. We have an exciting show. So our topic today is visiting Tulip Town. So we want to know if you have visited any of the tulip fields here in the state of Washington. I think we're, for the fields at least, maybe possibly coming to a close on them. But when you're shopping around and looking at all of the flower vendors you might see here in the state, they have so many tulips. And we do have some lovely guests who will be joining us for today's show. We'll be discussing it, and we're just going to be discussing all of our favorite things about the tulips and things like that. So if you have visited the flower fields, please let us know in the chat below. And if you haven't, let us know what maybe your favorite flower is, or just let us know what your favorite flower is in general. And we could read those out loud for today's show. So before we get into the discussion, we do have a video that we're going to go ahead and share. Kriya whenever you're ready for it.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of the listeners and viewers all around the world. I am Brother Joshua Weber from the local congregation of Oak Harbor, bringing you all today's hidden treasure. Today, we'll take you to one of my personal favorite sites to see during the springtime, the Rosengard Tulip Display in the city of Mount Vernon, Washington. Rosengard is considered to be a world-renowned spring destination, featuring a stunning 5+ acre display garden that is annually redesigned and planted by hand with over 1 million bulbs and almost 200 different types of tulip, daffodil, and other flower types. Not to mention, there's also an amazing 50+ acres of tulips and daffodils in their fields as well. Rosengard is open year-round, but of course the best times to come visit are definitely during the springtime when the tulips are blooming, so from mid-April into May. A little interesting trivia for Rosengard: Rosen is Dutch for rose, and Gard means garden. Not to mention, Rosengard itself is owned by the Rosen family. Thank you very much for tuning into INC Radio Seattle. This has been Brother Josh, and I will see you later.
Very cool. A little history of Tulip Town. When I visited in the last 2 weeks or so, I was able to read some of those like history facts. So it's nice to learn more about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and let our two guests introduce themselves. Who will be joining us on today's show. Brother Vaughn, go ahead and let us know what local you are from.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brother Vaughn Torres from the local congregation of Oak Harbor. I'd like to do a shout out for my entire family here in Washington, my wife, my kids, and extended family here throughout Washington State, Atlanta, Georgia, and Guam. Hello, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And then we also have Sister Hazel today.
Hi, Sister Marie. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's listening. This is Sister Hazel Valdez from the local of Everett. So shout out to Everett. I know they're listening. Thank you all for your support. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Everyone that's tuning in right now, go ahead and leave your greetings for our two guests joining us for today's show in the comments below. We have some comments from Sister Bianca G. Says, I was able to go to Tulip Town with some of the CWS kids and my family. #Marysville. And then Sister Chi says, we were able to visit the Tulip Town with my family, but in New Jersey. Oh, wow, that is so cool. #rented. It's also interesting to see what states have their own flower fields. So very exciting. Let me know what your state's like flower field is. We have a very exciting guest that is joining us live today. We have Ka Flo. I'm gonna go ahead and send it your way. Tell us what you're up to. Let us know what is happening.
Hi, Sister Marie. Thank you for having me. INCRadio Seattle. Sister Flo here from INCRadio Oregon. And currently we are just about starting up our Care for Humanity activity. So right now, our guests who has arrived already are watching the video about our Care for Humanity that has been held around the world so far. So we are excited to have our guests here and talk to them a little bit more as our program progress.
Amazing. And where are you? Did you already mention the city?
Yes, I'm actually in Portland here at our function hall, and which is also our district office. And right now, we're waiting for more to join us, but who has joined us already, they're excited to be part of our activity today.
Yes, it looks like you guys have already started. What time does today's event start and end for anyone that wants to visit?
Yes, we started actually right now, and well, we're hoping that end about 6:30-ish. Maybe we might extend it a little bit more as we have more guests coming in a little later.
Amazing. It's so nice to see your activity take. Are we able to see a little bit more of the room book?
Can you repeat that question?
Are we able to see a little bit more of the room full and just seeing all the guests there and brethren?
Yeah.
Or are you by yourself out there? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we're excited to see a lot of our neighboring guests that's coming in and kind of making their way here to our venue, as well as our brethren who has invited their friends and family as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And as well, here we'll be having our Care for Humanity in the District of Seattle tomorrow. I believe that is in the afternoon. So there's so many great opportunities the administration has given us to be able to give back and celebrate our communities. So thanks
for having me.
Yes, of course. Do you have any shout outs today?
Yes, actually greetings to all of you there in the District of Washington. I have family out there, and of course our church administration for allowing us to have activities like this.
Yes. Thank you so much, couple. It's always such a pleasure to have you here on INCRadio Seattle. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you so much.
So everyone tuning in, we do have Care for Humanities all around the world this weekend. So make sure to check in with your locals and district to see when and where yours will be held, so we can see your faces there. So following back up to our discussion today, which is visiting Tulip Town. Kalman, have you visited the Tulips before?
Yes, absolutely. Because we live in Oak Harbor, we drive through the Skagit Valley tulip
Really?
fields almost on a weekly basis.
Really?
So,
What's that distance? Because my first time visiting was like 2 weeks ago. And for me from Seattle, it was about an hour 20 drive or so.
from Oak Harbor, it's a 40-minute drive.
Okay.
And if you were to do the comparison from Mount Vernon to Everett, it's about 40 minutes. So it's kind of like it's a city right in between Oak Harbor, which is an island county, and Everett. So yes, we did not visit this year. We did last year. We usually do it on every other year basis. But we're not sponsored by the families and the companies that actually hold these big festivals in the Skagit Valley area. But it was mentioned in the program, Rosengart being one and Tulip Town being another. So those are the two major locations in the Skagit Valley farm region, which they produce. Skagit Valley and those farms produce the majority, because it is the number one tulip location in the United States.
Oh, wow.
For
anyone visiting too,
yeah.
since there are so many fields, and what I realized when I visited for the first time is that they might be owned by the same, but they're like in different areas. Do you have any tips on, or is there a favorite one, like farm or those couple of acres that your family likes to visit? Or do you just go and find the one that's open, maybe less traffic? Because they're all like slightly different, I feel, like with the variety and how much land they can cover of tulips.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly which is bigger or not, but we have we usually go to Rosengard
Okay.
because the fields and the layout that they have, just the millions
It's so vast.
of tulips that they have there, and the activities that they have, and the picturesque locations that they have for us to take pictures and spend family quality time. A lot of people, especially members that have the time to do their family hour activity, with that sharing, family bonding times, and even with friends, of course. It's a good location, but of course, like you mentioned earlier, it can get really congested. So you got to be patient when you go up there. Plan for it to be if not an all-day event, at least a half-day event. You can't just rush in and rush out, because you'll be stressed with time. Don't be stressed with time. It's not a good time to be stressed. Just plan a good few hours to enjoy.
Yes, definitely. I probably did the opposite, where I waited too long in the season to visit, because when I visited, a lot of the flowers were already starting to wilt and there was actually no traffic and no people. But I understand why, because there was like no flowers left. But the flower, if we could also have Kuya take some of the photos that we submitted for today's show. These fields are so vast, and it's just flowers and tulips on tulips for as far as the eye could go. So it makes for very beautiful family photos. It's truly so beautiful. And Hazel, did you visit this year, or is it something that you like to visit every so often?
I didn't go this year, and I don't think I went last year, but the year before that. The Rosengard, I'm not really familiar, but I've been to Tulip Town, and I know it's busy. And every time we make a plan, it starts to rain. That's Pacific Northwest for you. So sometimes it's nice not to have any plans at all. When you see the sun's out, just go. But the problem is you're gonna get stuck in traffic, because most people, they have the same idea. Oh, the sun's out, let's go see the tulips. But this year I wasn't able to go. But I don't know if there's some left, but because I live south Everett, they see it all the time because every time from Oak Harbor driving to Everett, they see the field and they know if there's still some flowers
They
left.
can let you
And
know.
they also have the tourist garden. They're showing us their tulips in their backyard or front yard. And
Are they
they're
easy?
nice.
Oh, and what I learned too is that tulips don't stop growing when you
No.
cut them. They continue to bloom, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I think you just leave the bulb
Mm-hmm.
in the soil and then every year they come up. I think I have three here that every year I go, oh, it's out. I keep on forgetting that I have three tulips in our front yard. But I
That's
know
great.
they have a lot. Yeah.
What? So both of your families have tulips in your yards? What colors do you have?
I have red. They have what colors do you have, Brother Vaughn?
Multiple colors. We have multiple colors, and we actually get it from. We did get them from Rosengard because the majority, and one thing you mentioned and stuff, it comes back, but you got to remember tulips are perennials; they're not annuals. So when the leaves do wilter and start to dry. They call this process deadheading tulips, meaning you chop the stem, but leave the
bulb.
leave the of course not the bulb, but the leaves. Actually leave it, don't cut it off, because and of course give it a few weeks. As you start seeing the stem start to wither, that's when you actually can actually pull the actual stems without pulling the bulb up, which will allow the bulbs to get some health and energy for the next year's blossom. So that's one of the things that they encourage. And when you buy these bulbs, they have a lot of instructions when to actually plant them, which is predominantly for our region because of the weather patterns is in the fall, October, November timeframe, for them to blossom in the spring.
Oh, that's so interesting, because when I was there and some of them were, you could tell maybe had wilted away, they just like chopped the heads of like the bulbs off. And I was wondering why they just left the stems there. So now I know. The tulips are so interesting. How would you say the care for having tulips in your own yards is? Is it difficult, or does it take a little bit to learn about, or is it pretty easy for anyone that maybe wants to have their own? Did you plan to have them in your yard?
Oh, not me, because mine, I actually just stole it from my grandma's yard. No, because my grandma passed away in 2010, and they were selling their house. So I took that as a souvenir from my grandma, and I wasn't expecting it to bloom every single year. I still do have it, yes, but hopefully I'll add more tulips next year. I've been planning to do that, but yeah, I have always had that three that keeps on coming back every year, and I'm thankful that I think there's the squirrels that usually dig the bulbs and eat them. Yeah, but we haven't had that problem yet. So
good.
Fingers crossed. I don't know about a bird one.
Well, once you really once you plant the actual bulbs of the tulips in a location that again doesn't accumulate water, you got to have a good location to where water drains and the water doesn't stay or become acidic, and they will come just about every year. And really, you don't even have to water them, because during the fall and the winter months, because the bulbs need to get cold. They like the cold, and when the spring comes and the rain comes, that's when it starts to generate and grow. Really, it's kind of one of those plants where if you set it and you plant it in a very good location, it's like what the Hazel said. You really don't have to do it. They will blossom again. And usually, if you do the deadhead thing and they actually get energy for multiplying the bulbs, they will come even more the following year at times.
That is so interesting.
That's a good tip, because I just leave it and I forget about it. So this year I'll do that. So hopefully next year I'll have 6 instead of 3.
I love. Would you still want all red, or would you try to find another like color or breed of tulip?
The multicolors are
Mhm.
nice, but they also have different varieties. It's the one
Yes.
that's kind of pointed. I don't know. That looks like irises. Is that what you call it? But they're tulips. It's so fascinating when you say tulips. Sometimes you just think that there's just one variety, but when you go to those tulip uh, festival, you see a lot of varieties. But I just wish I could take them all, but I'm not a good. I don't have green thumb. That's the thing. I kill plants sometimes, but
Well,
with tulips,
actually, I have a question for both of you, actually,
ah,
because when you think of tulips, and especially here in the Skagit Valley area, where do you think the origins of tulips come from? Where do they come from?
I read this when I was there. Now I can't remember. I think it was even before. We're in the video that we just watched. Where did they say it was from again? And I think it came from like Asia before that or something like that.
I'm thinking of the one with windmills.
Windmills, yeah, okay. So,
What country
um,
is that?
the
Yes,
Netherlands, yeah, Dutch.
Yes,
Okay,
that's the one. I was
yeah,
like,
so
I
Dutch.
know it's like windmills.
That's where they actually, that's where predominantly everyone thinks they originated from. They did. It migrated from the Dutch to the United States. But like what I think Sister Marie said, it actually came from Central Asia,
Yeah.
from
Okay.
a mountainous region called the Tian Shan Mountains, which is part of the Himalayas.
Mm.
And it was an ecosystem, and I read up on this years ago, and I refreshed on it recently within the past hour because that's when I knew I
Yeah,
was
so
going to
much.
be a guest. But this region actually, again, it's an ecosystem that really blossoms these flowers and tulips. And during the Ottoman Empire, the word tulip actually originates from a Persian word that means turban.
Oh yes, because they're shaped.
Urban.
Yeah.
So yes, so the possible reasons as to why it's called that is the shape, that's the given, but there's also a second possibility, and we're not for sure, is because they suspect that it was a popular flower to wear on turbans in that region of the
Ah,
world because in the Ottoman Empire it expanded all the way past Russia and China back in those times, and it migrated its way to the Netherlands. So just a little tidbit fact of tulips.
So many fun facts, yeah. Because when you think of them, you might think of like Netherlands, but they even have like deeper history and its roots of tulips. So thank you so much for sharing, Kavan. So many fun facts today. For anyone that's visiting Tulip Town or the other town, is there any other activities you'd recommend maybe for families next year who want to make a whole day visit out of it?
the ice cream, Brother
Ice
Vaughn.
cream. Really? Tell me more. I love ice
Well,
cream.
we're not, yeah,
We're not sponsored, but I believe it's Snow Goose. Is that what
Snow
it is?
Goose Produce. Yeah, there's
You
a
have to
if you
stop by
drive
there.
I'll write it down.
there's maybe like two or three ways and roads that you can drive to the Skagit Valley area with the tulips, and one of them being Best Road. Best Road is exit 221 on I-5, and it'll actually drive you through a farm town that runs into a store or it's a farmers market kind of sort of place. A lot of things to buy there, but they have over 50 ice cream flavors that they boast there. And the lines for those, I'm not looking, I can't see anything on the actual chat, but I'm pretty sure those that have been there, they're lines that could span for about an hour's wait. And it is just so cool that people will actually wait that long to get that ice cream.
I should have talked to the both of you before I went this year because one, I needed tips on when to go, what ice cream to get, the history of tulips. I have the experts right here, everyone.
You need to go during weekday because weekend the line's wrapped around. You'll wait in line a
Great
long
tips.
time.
Everyone,
Yeah.
write this down. I wish we could continue this discussion. So much information that I need to take down for next year. So thank you so much to the both of you for contributing to today's discussion. Truly had the experts today. So thank you so much. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Ka Hazel for our CFO in action.
Hello again. This is Sister Hazel for the CFO in action. So before I start, I would like to greet two congregations who are celebrating their anniversaries or will be celebrating, or one celebrated. May 5th was the local of Tacoma. Happy 44-year anniversary. And actually, today is the local of Des Moines, 8 years. Yay! Okay, so tomorrow, I hope we'll see a lot of people in Seattle at 4 p.m. because we have the Care for Humanity. We've been talking about that. Other districts are doing that. Ours is tomorrow at 4 p.m. at the Seattle congregation. And then next Saturday is the blood donation. We have two sites, the local of Kent and Everett, and it starts from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you need to contact your local leadership for the appointments because they have appointment times. So you know when to come. And then Buklod formal, all the Buklods. I know Sister Marie is still Kadiwa. So the Buklod, we're going to have our formal night on May 25th in let me see here in Bremerton. I know it's in Bremerton. Kitsap Conference Center. I have to look like that. Kitsap Conference Center on May 25th. At the doors will open at 6, but registration starts at 5 p.m. And then we have a lot of activities. And then the local care for humanity, the worldwide is next Sunday, May 18th, and it's also a worldwide landscaping competition. That's May 18th. May 24th is the District Chroniclers special gathering in Bremerton, and District Baptism May 24th. May 25th is like I said, is the Buklod formal, and the Kadiwa formal is on June 8th. That's you guys' Sister Marie. June 8th is the Kadiwa formal, and then June 13th is the family bonding. That's really exciting. So hopefully we'll see a lot of people there again for Mariners game. And a happy birthday to Brother Terrell and Sister Tia on May 13th. I always say May 14th. I'm sorry, Sister Tia. May 13th. I love you. Uh, happy birthday to the twins who are not really the same age. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Ka Hazel. So many activities in the district. We want to see you both every single weekend, so we can't wait to see all of your faces both. Thank you so much for everyone that tuned in today's show. Unfortunately, we're slowly coming to a close here, but before we end, we have our special greetings. Both special thank you to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Manalo, our SEPSI President and CFO Coordinator, Brother Emil Regino, our District Minister, Brother Relly Rivera, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Chris Valdez, our CFO Overseer, Kamanli Andaya, our Executive Producer, everyone that's tuning in today, and all of our INC Radio Tech crew. We thank you so much, Pope, for all your hard work for today's show. So thank you so much, Pope, and make sure to tune into next week's show because, of course, we always have the most exciting topics here in INC Radio Seattle, and we will see you all later. Bye. Thank you.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ.